If you guys are new to my channel or tuning in for the first time, you probably don't know who I am, so a little backstory. My name is Bobbie Zlotnick. I am a New York City-based professional wig maker and wig designer. I've worked on close to 20 different Broadway shows, a couple different television shows, and I also run my own wig company, BobbiePins.com. I was maybe like 15 or 16 the first time I ever started playing with a wig and started to figure out like how they work and all of that fun stuff. I've made wigs, I've made lace front wigs, I've made closure wigs, I've made wigs, but I never made a unit. And so I was trying to figure out what the difference was between a wig and a unit. So I watched a lot of tutorials. There's so much amazing information out there. And I figured I can do that. That's so easy. I can definitely bring all my expertise of wigs and ventilating and all of that. I'm gonna make a tutorial and put it on YouTube. I'm just gonna warn you guys right now, this is going to be a very in-depth tutorial and I'm gonna go really fast. So pay attention, rewind, fast forward if you need to, and let's get started making this unit. All right, so the first thing you're gonna need for a frontal unit, of course, is a frontal. I got this from AliExpress. This is silky straight Tajikistani hair. It is 24A grade, which means basically it's sacrificed from a virgin who has virgin hair by a virgin on Mount Olympus. And then here I have a mixing bowl, some bleach. So this is probably gonna take a little longer. I prefer to use 50 just because you can blow out that cuticle, damage that hair real quick. Might even melt a little bit and fall off. But hey, the more hair that falls out of it, the less density you have, the more realistic it looks, and the less plucking you have to do later, right? So I'm gonna start just painting this bleach on. I'm just gonna do that. Just, yeah, put it on the unit. Spread it around like you're frosting a cake, girl. I'm gonna let it process for about a half an hour until I smell the hair burning. So I'm gonna take this unit of plastic wrap just to seal the top of it down, just to make sure that it's not going to dry out. Push down. You really wanna push that bleach through the knots to the other side of the lace. I'm gonna take my little styrofoam unit head right here. You wanna take some duct tape, because we're gonna basically build up layers, and you don't have to be super duper precise about this. Pretty much all heads are the same size and shape. It's a myth that you have to take measurements when you make wigs. I mean, I don't know why people waste their time. I'm gonna start just taping pieces of tissue to this, and all I'm doing is I'm just building up. Just keep adding this in layers. Gonna put one on the back now just to make it big. Yeah, that's starting to look like a head right now. I'm actually out of tissue right now, so I found some socks that don't have a match. So now I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna cover all of this with duct tape. You know, I'm wasting all this time taping and making this unit head, and I kind of just wish that something available that was actually the shape and size of a human head. Over here, it looks a little flat. Right there, so let me just tape a couple more socks on there, just like this. Since I found another piece of tissue, why not just add that on top? I'm sure everyone out there can attest, we all love a big unit, right? All right, and so here's the frontal. I just washed all the bleach out, and see how I have like a half of an inch of like a coppery blonde root? That's exactly what you want. So that looks like scalp now, doesn't it, guys? You know, when you part it, I mean, that's what my scalp looks like, right? And now I'm gonna show you guys how to customize the hairline. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take the largest pin you can find. You can use thumbtacks, you can use safety pins, you can use even sewing needles. I'm gonna use T-pins, and I'm gonna put that right at the hairline, right in there. The more holes and the more rips and tears you have in your lace, the more realistic it's gonna look. I didn't brush this after I washed it out, so I'm just gonna take this wire unit brush, and I'm just gonna give this a nice little brush right here. Almost all of the tutorials I watched about unit making, they went in and they tweezed the front hairline with tweezers. Now, I was trying to figure out a way to do the same effect, but make it faster, so I decided to just use Nair, just to soften it and make it look very, very natural. I'm just gonna go in with this Nair, and I'm just gonna paint a big section just like that. I'm then gonna go in the front hairline, and I'm just gonna like go in with my Nair, and I'm just gonna go in and just strategically place it where I want the hairline to have different shapes. I feel like it's a little thick right there. So let me just do that. I mean, that looks so natural. I mean, look at that hairline, you guys. Like, that's unclockable. That's flawless. Like, that looks like it's growing out of my hand. So this is the part I narrowed in right here. It looks really natural. And I go ahead and take a spandex dome cap. I picked this up from my local unit store, and it's really thick, and they're really, really sturdy, and they hold the heat in on your head so your head doesn't get cold. It's great. So you're gonna take the frontal and you're gonna put it on the front of your dome cap here to make your unit. I like to sit the frontal behind this elastic band back here to just get rid of all the tension that this elastic gives you. We'll hold it on your head nice and firm. You don't want that. You want to sew that in later. You always want to put the T-pins right at the front hairline because, like I said, if you rip it or you tear it, it makes the wig look so much more natural. I actually ran out of T-pins, so I'm not going to be able to use T-pins to hold down this lace. So I figured the next best thing would be a paper clip. Come on, unit. There we go. The further you can get that paper clip in, the better. So you'll see here that the frontal does not lay flat. You'll see here the frontal has lots of ripples in it, and that's totally okay. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna sew the frontal down. I don't really waste my time sitting here sewing with pretty stitches. Put like 1 stitch every 5 inches, you know, something like that. Just, you know, it's all about time, ladies. Like when you're making these things, it's all about time, because the more you can make in a day, the more money you can make. So the quality doesn't matter, it's how many you can get out. Quantity versus quality. Actually ran out of blonde thread right now, so I got this red thread. It's fine if it doesn't match. No one's gonna see it because we're gonna hot glue hair. I see a lot of people on YouTube going through and they make lines when they're making their units to show you where they want the tracks to go, but that takes too much time. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of hot glue back here. Just as much as I can, and if it drips, that's great. That makes it look more natural. And I'm just gonna lay my track down on it. Yes, bitch. Get that unit. Yes. I really want all the hair to fall out when my clients wash their units, so I only ever use the hot glue method. You know, if you do this, it makes the hot glue tacky, and it makes it dry faster if you do that. And then I like to actually put some glue over top too, just to make sure it's extra secure, just as much glue as you can. And then I'm gonna start in with my next bundle right about here. If I had other textures, that'd be even better. I'd love to have some like curly hair with some straight hair, just get a much more natural look. So if you glue pieces of track in your unit upside down, it gives you more volume. And then now this one is just gonna curve back around and go in here. And then I'm just gonna do the fold over right here, pressing it into my unit. This is gonna be the top of my head, so I really want the top of my unit to be really, really thick. I said I was gonna use the glue to cover up my stitching in the front to make it extra secure and more natural. And I'm going to lay the weft going forward, because again, you're gonna get that lift. All right, so just like this, some more hot glue. The more hot glue you can use, the better. You wanna kind of put your weft underneath and then push it up like that. The glue will then come up over the top of the weft, and it just adds a lot of bulk to the roots. It makes your hair look and feel thicker. So now would be a good time for me to bring around the longer hair from before, which is down here underneath these tracks right here. So all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take some hot glue, and I'm just gonna glue it on top of this hair right here. Like, I'm just gonna go across. And that's how you make a part. And then that way the hair goes every direction, and I'm gonna get lots of body built into it. And if you get a little loop like that, how it's loose right there, that's fine, it makes it look natural. Like, doesn't this look like hair that is growing from a scalp? I actually don't have any hair clips, so I'm just gonna use this little binder clip that I took out of my desk, and that's gonna hold the hair really well, see? Just like that. And I also have an extra paper clip, so I'm gonna use that paper clip too. Just holds that hair. If you end up not having any hair on the back of your unit, that's totally fine, because no one's ever gonna look back there. Everyone's looking at your face, they're not looking at your neck. And if they're looking at your neck, you're not doing something right with your face. If you have to go over the hair, that's totally fine. You know, it gives you extra volume and you won't see your tracks. I actually need all the T-pins that I put in the front of the unit for the back for my next part. So I'm just gonna take these out. So to hold this down nice and flat, I'm just gonna use my stapler right here, and I'm just gonna staple it down. Okay, so I have my doubled over track into the back of the unit. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take one side, grab some safety pins, and I'm just gonna safety pin this hair into place. And you can also remove the hair later and move it around. I like to just take this extra track and I like to go all the way across the top of the unit so you can make yourself a handle. You don't have to struggle to try to get it off your head. You just grab and you just pull your unit off. You do have to watch out though, because if someone's trying to fight you, they can just grab your unit handle on your unit and rip it off. So go in there and you want to cut off all the extra lace. So I just like to go in there and I just like to cut it like this. Like, I just like to make it really jagged, and sometimes I cut behind the hairline a little bit, and then sometimes I leave a whole bunch extra lace. So like right here I have all this extra lace right here. That just makes it look more natural. And that's how you trim the lace off of your unit. Most people will cut the baby hairs out. I like to be resourceful, so I'm gonna take these false eyelashes, just put the eyelash just right there at that front lace. There you go. So see that? That gives you some nice baby hair right there. Your baby hairs kind of stick up, so you see that? How the lash is just sitting in the glue? Makes it look really realistic, just like that. And I'm gonna use the box to help get it set in there. Just gonna hot glue that lash in there, yeah. And I'm just gonna stick the eyelashes into the part as if it's growing out of your head. See how the eyelash is sticking up a little bit? That's perfect. I'm gonna cut all this elastic out of the unit and then I'm gonna sew twice as much back into it for security. Oh, yes. Like, you just look at what those eyelashes do. Like, it just gives you such natural blending of baby hair into your natural hairline. Okay, so the next part when you're making your unit is you wanna make it as tight to your head as possible. The bigger headache and migraine you get from it, the better. So this is the elastic piece that I'm gonna be sewing in the back of my unit. The frontal part of the unit meets the back part of the unit. I'm gonna be using this red thread again because I don't have any more and no one's ever gonna see it. All right. And nobody has time for scissors, so I use my teeth to cut the thread all the time. Usually I would do like 1 stitch, maybe 2, but you wanna make it really strong, so all you need to do is like 3 or 4 stitches, that's it. And the thinner the thread, the better. And now I'm gonna try it on again just to make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. Unit fits pretty good. Unit fits pretty good. You know, the elastic definitely is helping the unit stay on my head, but I feel like I could use some extra security, and I really want to put a lot of tension on my natural hair right at my front hairline, so I'm gonna sew a whole bunch of unit clips into the unit. Just like this. I only sew down one side. That's all you really need. As long as you have 1 stitch, the clip will stay. And oftentimes I like to sew them in upside down so that I have to twist them into my hair and then twist it back. I love feeling all that tension and that pulling on my front hairline. I've seen a lot of people use concealer or their foundation right on the part to kind of blend it out into their skin. I don't actually have any foundation or concealer at this time, so I'm just gonna use whiteout. This helps you camouflage. And the more whiteout you use, the better. If anybody asks, just say you have dandruff. So I put on a light shirt because I noticed that you couldn't see all of the beautiful hair and the beautiful hard work I put into this unit. Oh yes, bitch. I will just give you guys a nice little close-up of the front hairline so you guys can see how natural this looks. The part is my favorite part. Like, it's just, this parting looks so realistic. That's my unit. I love it. It looks so natural. I can't wait to sport this. I think I might actually wear it to DragCon. I might wear it at my booth just to show all the customers an example of the fine work that we here at Bobbie Pins do. I've been wasting all this time hand ventilating wigs when I could just have made a unit and it looks exactly the same, if not better and more realistic. I have to say, this is the best unit I've ever seen. This is hands down the most natural unit I've ever seen. I mean, this part, this hairline. All my social media links are down in the box. On Facebook, I'm Bobbie Pins. On Instagram, I'm bobbiepins.com, and I'm also Uniting Out BZ. Same screen name is on here, Uniting Out BZ. That's me. So to close this video out, I'll just be giving you guys a little fashion show with my new unit since I can't stop playing with it. And I'll see you guys soon for another fun video. Bye.